Hello everyone and welcome back to The Plot. Today is the 29th of April and I think this video is going to be a long one. I went to The Plot with the intention of doing a little bit of tidying up and filming a tour and then going home. Do you think that happened? No. I got absolutely stuck in and I just couldn't stop. I just could not stop. So I think I spent about 4 hours here again at The Plot just cracking on with jobs. So that's what you will see in this video. There will also be a tour towards the second half of the video, and while these time lapses play, I will answer some of your questions. The first question is by Amy's Allotment. If you don't already watch Amy's Allotment videos, then I will leave a link to her channel down in the description, so definitely check her out if you like allotment vlogs. And if you're here, then I'm sure you do like allotment vlogs. So yeah, go check out her channel. Anyway, she asked, what are you most looking forward to harvesting and eating from your allotment? That is a good question. I'm honestly excited about everything, but I think I mentioned pumpkins in every single video. So maybe I'm most excited about growing and harvesting pumpkins and squash. But I'm also really looking forward to growing chilies and peppers and tomatoes in the greenhouse. And I think tomato harvests are the most exciting things, especially when, we're getting into late summer and you're filling a basket full of tomatoes. That is the most satisfying thing ever. And I also absolutely love tomatoes. So I think I'm most excited about harvesting pumpkins, but eating tomatoes. The next question is from Joanne and she asks, are you planning to plant any fruit trees / bushes other than the fig you have? And my answer is actually no. I know it might shock some people, but for one, I'm not actually a massive fruit eater. I absolutely love strawberries and I'll be growing all of my strawberries at home in containers just because I think it's a little bit more manageable. And I can protect them a little bit better because I'm home, most of the time. The allotment has a lot of squirrels and wood pigeons and also rats, which is a bit of an issue. So I'm a bit sceptical about growing fruit bushes and like strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. I don't think I'm going to grow any of that on the allotment plot. But I think in the future, probably next year, I would like to maybe plant a fruit tree. The rules for the site is you can plant fruit trees if they are on a dwarf rootstock. So I could plant like an apple or maybe a pear. But like I said, I'm not actually a massive fruit eater. I do like apples, strawberries and bananas, but I can't grow a banana tree and my strawberries are going to be at home. So I guess I'm just left with apples. I've never actually eaten a fig before, but I like the look of them and I love just the foliage on fig trees. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. We'll see how I get on with the fig first and then we'll think about fruit trees next year. The next question is from Miss LC and she asks, do you plan to have a seating area / spot to sit and enjoy what you have achieved? And yes, I am planning to have a little seating area in front of the greenhouse. I will get like a little table and chairs and hopefully I will be able to sit and watch the birds and enjoy rather than just dig up and rake nettles. I'm sure in summer I will have time to sit and relax. That's what I want to do anyway, and I'd like to bring friends over and we can sit and look at the plants and birds. It'll be really nice to have a little seating area, so that is definitely on the cards. The next question is from Tess and she asks, do you have any friendly plot neighbours? Yes, I do. Everyone who I've met has been so friendly and helpful and encouraging and just lovely. I have not met my two immediate plot neighbours, but I know there are signs that they do exist. So to my right, somebody has been digging over that plot and every time I've been there over the last 2 weeks, a little more has been dug over, so they definitely exist. And then to the plot with a shed, there's been broad beans planted out, so I know they exist too, but I just haven't met them yet. Opposite me, there is a lovely plot neighbour called Reg, and he's given me some salad leaves, which I really, really appreciated. I thought it was so kind. But yeah, I've probably met about 10 people, and they've all been very lovely and helpful. And so far, I am absolutely loving being at the plot and having these chats with people, learning about the site, because most people have been on the site for like 10 years or more, and they know a lot more about, well, the pests on the site, like the squirrels and pigeons and everything. And apparently there is actually an allotment cat, and it's also a Siamese cat, which is actually really weirdly similar to what I think Emma's allotment diaries, you know, the cat that goes and visits her. I think that's like a Siamese kind of cat as well. So that'll be very interesting to see. And I'm surprised I haven't seen this cat yet. I am such a cat person. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the allotment cat. The next question is from the beginner gardener, and he asked, how often do you visit your allotment each week and how long do you spend there? I actually just looked back at my videos, and I usually put the date of filming in the descriptions and actually say it at the start of the video, and I have seen that I've been to the allotment plot 11 times in the month of April. I probably would have gone more, but we've had really awful stormy weather this month. We just haven't had enough good days to do like solid work at the plot. So that means on average I probably go 2 or 3 times a week, and I usually spend 2 hours at the plot, but I've had 2 or 3 days this month when I've absolutely just gone for it, and I've spent about 4 hours there. So I hope that kind of answers the question. I also tend to go on weekday afternoons just because I work on weekends usually, and it's also a lot quieter on the weekdays, which is nice. The allotment site is probably about 10-minute cycle from my house or 20-minute walk. And unfortunately, my bike is kind of broken at the moment, so I've had to walk the last couple of times, which isn't bad. I don't mind the walk, I absolutely enjoy it, but it's really sad not having a working bike. The brakes are completely... they don't work, the gears are stuck, and my tyres are bald. And to be fair, I've had that bike for, oh my gosh, like 10, 15 years maybe. So if I can't get it fixed, I will be getting a new bike. But that is completely gone off topic. Anyway, moving on to the next question. Zumba with Katya, I hope I'm saying that right, Katya, asked, how much does it cost to have an allotment? And I've only just found this out myself actually, because I've been waiting for my invoice from the council. I took on the plot on the 25th of January and signed everything, and I've only just had my invoice literally last week from the council, and the cost of my plot is £58 per year, which I think is a pretty fabulous deal for a little piece of land to grow vegetables on. I also found out that my plot is actually smaller than a half plot. Plots are usually measured in perches or rods, and a full plot is 10 perches. So a half plot would be 5, and my plot is actually 4 perches. So it's a little plot, but I absolutely love it, and I think it's the perfect amount of space for me to garden on. Right, well, I was not planning on doing that job today. I don't know what I was thinking. I just started like raking that area, and suddenly I'm dismantling the compost heap. I don't know. Apologies for my voice, by the way. I know I don't sound great. The plan for this heap is actually to painstakingly go through all of it, sieve it, pull out all the tiny little pieces of plastic and bindweed root, and I'll probably chuck it in one of the Dalek compost bins for now, as in like scoop it all up and put it in one to use at a later date. Like the stuff underneath is actually really good. It's just the top layer which has a lot of weed seed sprouting, loads of little pieces of plastic. nettles, bindweed, bit of mare's tail. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to like sieve it, I guess, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know, I really don't know why I started tackling this now. I think I'm gonna stop here for the moment. I think I'm gonna use a piece of the weed fabric and just cover it over. But there's this plant growing out of it. It's a climbing plant, and I'm pretty sure my mum has it grown in her garden. I just can't think of the name of it right now. It's growing out of the compost heap. I'm gonna try and dig it out and save it because its roots are like well in there. I feel quite bad. I found another decking board which was in there, which is great because my initial plan for today was to do like weed the whole place and finish building the pumpkin beds, but now I found another piece of decking board which is really good. I can use that, but yeah, like I said, wasn't my intention to do this today. Also, this thing, I think this will make, I don't think it's rotten, I think it's in pretty good condition. Even if it is, I'm sure it will dry out and be fine. It could make a nice bench, a potting bench. I don't know what its actual intention was, because what are these things? But yeah, I could take those off maybe and use it as a potting bench, or if these things have a purpose, let me know. Yeah, I was going to film a tour today. An allotment, like a plot tour, just do a little bit of weeding and tidying up, do a tour, go home, rest, get better, but no, I don't know, I just get excited when I'm here, like there's so much I want to do and get done, and yeah, when I'm here I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, can't wait to do all these things. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna tidy up, I guess. Wait, no, I'm gonna dig that plant out, I think, and then cover this over, tidy up a bit, and then do the pumpkin beds, and then give a little plot tour. While I do the little clear up, I will answer a couple more common questions. One top question is, does the allotment have burn days, or are you allowed to burn things on the plot? Or a lot of people suggest that I burn the rotten wood or all the nettle and bindweed roots that I'm digging up, but unfortunately the allotment site does not allow burning, which I completely understand, although it would be useful to be able to burn some of the weeds. That would be excellent. You know, do you want some mealworms? I've actually got some today. The next very common question is about disposing the rubbish on the plot. A lot of people are wondering why the committee don't help or the council doesn't help, but I can request that the committee hire a skip and it will be discussed at a meeting, and if enough people request the use of a skip, they will hire one, and I've contacted the committee about it. But the thing is now, most of my rubbish is gone. I think it was just like the artificial turf and some of the bulkier items were really getting me down, but now all the turf is gone. Spoiler, I took it to the tip. And all of like the big broken pieces of plastic. I'm actually not left with that much rubbish. I still have all the perennial weeds to deal with, but one trip to the tip with the perennial weeds, another with the last remaining bits of junk. I'm keeping all of the wood, even if it's rotten, and then there's like the broken glass which I need to dispose of. There's actually not much left to deal with now, and although having a skip would have been ideal, especially in the first few weeks of taking on the plot, but I kind of knew what I was getting myself into anyway. Like, I looked around the plot, I saw what was there, and I decided to take on the plot, even though I personally can't drive and we only have a teeny weeny car anyway. But yeah, the committee are very active and they do a lot for the allotment site, but obviously if you're on an allotment plot that has a committee, you'll understand that there is a lot of back and forth between the council and the committee, and that is why it takes so long for vacant plots to be offered to people. But yeah, I really appreciate what the committee do for this site. There is a little shop which sells like seed potatoes and garlic and onion sets and certain tools, and you can order in certain garden items or request certain seeds as well. And there's also plant sales and plant swaps and seed swaps, so it's very active here. And the committee also know of people who can or would have taken the rubbish and helped clear the plot for me at a cost, but I was kind of just determined to do it all myself. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good here. And if I desperately needed a skip, then the committee would have helped, but I kind of persevered with taking bags of rubbish home bit by bit. And then finally, when Josh and I had time to go to the tip, we fit it in, and things are just so much better now. And yeah, it's all good. Yeah, look, lovely little mealworms for you. Mealworms. I was just about to start filming the tour and it started raining. So we're gonna have quite a rainy tour today, but that's okay. Anyway, I think we should start in the greenhouse and take a look at my seedlings. Most of the cosmos have come up. We've got some of the pink popsock, Apollo white, and some apricotta, and also the mosaic. No dill or chives came up, so I'm going to try again later when I get home. Borage, look how cute and compact they are at the moment, but I'm going to prick them out, put them in individual pots. And same for the Romanesco. These are a little bit laggy actually, but they're fine. And the marigolds, they also need to go in their own little pots. Leeks, red onions, more red onions, and some more leeks. I think I can give these a haircut actually. And then behind here we have the snapdragons, cabbages and sprouts, but they are not doing too good and they've been nibbled quite a bit. I might have to resow or pop them up. Nasturtiums finally sprouted. I've got some tall summer carousel. No cherry rose came up and only a few purple ones came up. Weirdly, just the ones on that side. So I'm going to resow those when I get home as well. And then under here, oh my gosh, cornflowers, scabious and seed dahlias. I probably should have pinched the dahlias out, but oh well. This foxglove really needs planting out, so I probably should have done that today, but I'll do it next time. As for the greenhouse itself, I did spend quite a long time in here last week, and okay, I know it looks chaotic, but I ended up digging out all of the wood chip. That will be a greenhouse makeover video, but yeah, all of the floor is now like bare ground. I had to dig out a lot of mare's tail. Then those bags by there are just rubbish, but like general waste, same as those two. Then these two sacks are nettles and bindweed. Obviously all of this is going to go very soon, and yeah, some cardboard left for when the vinyl beds get built. Then I've just got some compost and my tools. We are going to start at the very front of the plot because I think things look dramatically different. Especially after what I've just done here today. Here we are. As you can see, all the artificial turf is gone. We took that to the tip over the weekend. This bucket of glass, I have no idea what to do with. It just keeps being moved from there to there to there to there. These things need digging out, but this is what it's looking like at the moment. It's chaotic, but it's organised chaos. This is obviously the compost heap, which I've covered over to hopefully stop more weeds and nettles sprouting, and there's a big patch of nettles there which are just covered over at the moment. All of these bags are the wood chips that I removed from the greenhouse and mare's tail. The plan for the greenhouse is to do one raised bed along one length, and then I'm going to gravel the rest, just because, well, weed membrane then gravel, just because, yeah, the mare's tail, it's terrible in there. It was like just covered full of mare's tail. So obviously one had got in there, and then it had like completely reproduced and created a carpet of those awful things. And those bags of like soil and wood chips I can take to the tip. I should stop calling it the tip, because it's not a tip, it's like a full-on recycling centre. And when we went over the weekend, Josh actually had a really good time. He really enjoyed his time at the tip, and it was so well organised, and everything apart from the artificial turf was recycled. So all of the metal greenhouse poles, all of the plastic like broken bits, and the garden chair, they were all recycled. It is a shame that we couldn't fit this in the car as well, or that big pile, but we do only have a little car. So yeah, I can take all of this to the tip, and it can be put in I think it's a soil and rubble area, so that's good. I moved my Dalek compost bins over here, and in all honesty I'm not entirely sure if I want to use them. I would much prefer a like bay compost area, or like similar to what was here but sturdier, and maybe like 2 to 3 sections, although that is going to take up quite a lot of space and I only have a small plot. My issue with the Dalek compost bins are rats, and I will show you now that there is rat activity here. So I'm not really keen on them. My other option is getting a hot composter, and I think I would prefer that, and although they're like smaller, more compact, and I probably wouldn't get as much compost out of them. I'm not sure, I haven't really looked into hot composting just yet, but that's what I've gathered anyway. Yeah, I would prefer that because I feel like they're more enclosed, and obviously hot, they will kill the weed seeds and any bit of like nettle or bindweed that accidentally finds its way in there, hopefully. That's what I'm thinking anyway. And then these Dalek shaped composters I will probably give away. So I'm sure somebody else on this plot is going to want one, but I might just keep one for the horse manure, just get one going as soon as possible. Yeah, and also I feel like the Dalek composters, they take like a weird amount of space up because of their weird shapes, so I'm not sure what to do. Let me know if you have any suggestions, or what's your preferred way of composting. Who's that little bird? Oh my gosh, I can see a blue tit, and blue tits are my favourite little birds. Oh, it was just up here and I think it's gone. It's just getting really windy all of a sudden, but yeah, blue tits are my favourite birds, not just because they're so freaking cute. Well, yeah, mainly because they are so freaking cute, and they're my favourite bird to paint. Whoa. And if you didn't know already, I am an illustrator, and you can find a link to my like art website and shop in the description. But yeah, I like painting blue tits. Right, moving on with the tour, enough about composters. The plan for this area actually, which I did not explain properly, So this path by the greenhouse is also going to be gravel, and the water butt is going to go here. That's not going to be my main path on and off the plot. That's just going to be a path literally to the water butt. Some people were concerned that I wouldn't be able to fit a wheelbarrow down here, but I won't be wheelbarrowing in that area at all anyway. But yeah, then there will be flower border along here and along here, so there will be like an L shape, and then this will be the entrance to my plot, and it will follow that path down there to the archway. So one path like this, and then similarly on this side there will be flower border and probably a raised bed or two. I was planning on doing the pallet collars. I have had an issue with trying to find pallet collars. I cannot find them anywhere. Like, I've looked on Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace. There's one possible place where I could get them for, but they're quite, I still think they're about £12 each. Then I'd have to go and pick them up in Southampton. So yeah, haven't managed to source pallet collars yet, so I might just do another like no dig in ground bed or whatever. I don't know, but there's going to be something growing here, right here, and it's probably going to be brassicas. Whoa, it's really getting windy now. This area in front of the greenhouse will be seating area, so little table and chairs will be going here. And where I've dumped the this frame thing, there will be sunflowers, so there'll be like sunflower hedge here to block off this area, and because the polytunnel is right here, I feel like I need some kind of wall. So sunflowers is what it's going to be. So I won't be able to access the plot from this side, which is fine. And then obviously here we have the potato bed. Potatoes desperately need hilling up, and I also need to get a hoe because there's lots and lots of weeds. But what I'm going to do is get a couple of bags of manure and hill them up with that, so then at least they get some kind of feed as well. By here we have 3 bags of gravel, which I need to wash still. It's just one of those jobs I don't want to do. And then we have the onion bed. Another couple of concerns about this bed that I've had is planting beans and onions together. Apparently doesn't really work, something to do with the nitrogen, and I'm desperate to put beans here because, I don't know, I feel like I need a structure here. So I think I'm just going to do it anyway and see what happens, because onions, they come out like, when? July? I don't know. I can't remember, but I think I'm just going to plant the beans and onions together in this bed. We have nettle patch central. This is like one of the last nettle areas that I need to dig out, which is crazy. We've come so far, guys. So far. And I've actually got a mattock now, so thank you, John, for lending me your mattock. John, aka Josh's granddad. Thank you for watching. So that will make this job a lot easier, I think. I usually cycle or walk to the plot, so I can't bring the mattock with me all the time, but this bed will be sorted pretty soon, I think, which is very exciting. A little view from this angle. In these buckets we have the marguerites, and those will be planted in the flower border at the front of the plot. Then moving on. Oh, quickly, I need to show you actually. Pretty much all of my carrots have germinated. So I think those were the Paris Market Atlas 5 or something along those lines. We've got radish germination, but they are doing absolutely terribly, and I don't know whether it's because of water or, well, something's been nibbling them, or compost, but yeah. And then we've got the Chantenay carrots down this side, which have also germinated. Moving round to this bed. This is my useful junk bed. So now that we've got rid of the junk, I'm left with this. So there's a couple of useful pieces of wood, some containers. This unfortunately has a hole in, but I'm sure I can use it for something. There's some netting, a little bit of ground cover left underneath there, guttering, some random tube things. I don't know what I'd use these for, but they're here. Then when I was sorting the compost bin just then, I found these metal hoops, so those will be good for netting brassicas. But that bucket and that, I think it looks like a letterbox, that is definitely junk. That's probably like the last junk things on the plot. Oh, and probably the greenhouse cover, that is junk as well. But yeah, there are some, oh, and this random wire hoop, I think this is also junk. But yeah, there's lots of useful bits in there too. Now moving on to the sweet pea bed. These are surviving, but they're definitely not thriving. They do look kind of terrible, and they've been nibbled quite a bit. I mean, they're growing, they are definitely bigger, but I don't know if you can see the cracked lumpy ground. That is because of rats. But before I talk more about the rats, look, these are definitely the larkspur, because I planted them in a little row like that. I think there's some signs of beetroot, but very few. Actually no, I can see quite a few now. I can see loads of beetroot now I'm looking. Yeah, so we've got the beetroots germinated, and yeah, the larkspur here has also germinated, so that's very exciting. Hopefully it doesn't get nibbled. Oh, and look at that, a lovely bit of bindweed, thanks. Back over to the pumpkin bed. I just covered this over with a bit of cardboard just because there were so many weed seeds popping up. So this side is going to have curry squash, uchiki curry, and they will hopefully go all the way over. I might put, it depends how like the sweet peas go, I might put a cut pumpkin either side as well, and I'm thinking the Jilby Littles. And over here, this will be the, I think it's Futsu Black pumpkin bed. I still have to kind of like do the thingies, the boards, and then move in this Dalek composter, which is full of twigs. And we'll go over to the pond. Big tree is still alive, I think, I hope. We've got the foxgloves, ferns, loads and loads of little weed seeds are shooting up, and bindweed and mare's tail, so I will have to keep pulling these out. The plastic pallet will definitely be coming off soon. I guess this is another piece of junk item that needs to go, but yeah, it will be going soon, don't worry. I know everyone absolutely hates the plastic pallets, but it will be going eventually, soon. Anyway, I was going to talk about the rat problem, because I've noticed a few times that there's been like little burrows and tunnels and something's been digging around, and I came today and like the weed sheet was like completely like crumpled, bumped up, and I've looked underneath and something has been digging, and I think there's like tunnels going underneath my sweet peas as well, which is not ideal. I did think it was a mole, but no one else on the plot has mentioned there being moles, and I thought they would create more of like a hill. So yeah, I think it is rats. This is what I mean. So it just looks like something's made all this hole. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's just really lumpy there. Like this. Not great. And then looking at the very back of the plot, this is what it looks like. It's not too bad, it's very doable. The plan for... Whoa, you are loud. You are so loud. Oh my gosh. You're so cute. Oh, I'm pretty sure that was a wren. Did you see it? I hope I got that. Oh my gosh, that was so cute. Anyway, this is where I've dumped the pallets for now. Isn't this one so freaking cute? I can make a little fence for that one. It's so cute. I love it. But most of the pallets are rotten, but I'm going to try and save the wood and either use them to make a little fence, or I don't know, for something else. But yeah, and then this was where my junk was, and it's all gone. Isn't that amazing? And then yeah, that plastic pallet also needs to go. But my plan for the compost, this compost heap, this isn't good. Like, there is a lot of binderies in here, but what I'm going to do is compact the area, so push it back and in. Probably use some of the soil from that old compost bay, put it on top, and I think I'm going to grow my pumpkins on it. So I know a lot of people do grow pumpkins in compost heaps, so I'm going to give it a go. What have I got to lose? Just a pumpkin plant probably. So yeah, if I like really cram it up and then put maybe some manure and some of the old compost pile stuff on top, yeah, we can grow pumpkins up here, and then maybe I'll use some of the pallet wood to like fence this little area in. We have the comfrey, which are absolutely huge now. I kind of forgot that they flower. Somebody reminded me in the last video that they flower round about now. I was quite convinced that they flowered a bit earlier in the year, but apparently not. It will be soon. So yeah, once this is pushed up, there'll be some sunflowers here as well as the comfrey. Then we've got to move the shower screens. There's two here, one there and one behind there somewhere. Got to sort this barrel out. I'm pretty sure it has holes in the bottom. Oh god, I hate going over here because there's still a lot of rubbish to deal with. There's potatoes growing in there. I didn't put potatoes in there, but they are like extremely tall. So I don't really want to deal with this. But yeah, there's definitely holes in here, otherwise it would be full of water. No, it's just full of potatoes. And then here is some of my wood pile junk. I will create, like, once I've gone through this and got the pieces of rubbish out, because you can see there's like green bags, that awful plasticky string, and just like little bits of plastic everywhere. So I need to go through it, and then I will make like a new wood pile, just move the wood into its one tidy pile and just leave it. And I'm going to leave it for the toads and the insects and the frogs and stuff. So yeah, that's the plan with this area anyway. So the wood pile and that bin will probably be the last things on the list now. Hello. love all these birds. What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh yeah, this bit behind me will be like one of the last things done, because I really need to get that nettle patch dug out, because I really need more planting space for all the rest of my crops, like my leeks and beans and red onions, and yeah, so much to do. And all my courgettes, so many courgettes and squash this year, just because somebody actually asked me why so many pumpkin beds, and it's just because I love pumpkins and squash so much. I love growing them and eating them, and yeah, they're great. It is starting to really rain now, so I'm just going to take a couple of shots overview of the plot and how it's looking and leave you with that. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you again very soon. Bye.